Okay, hi, my name is Patricio Montoya, and I'll be talking to you about high-tech entrepreneurship today. What is high-tech entrepreneurship? Well, it's a startup that its main driving force is emerged from an internet-based business. The three attributes that can define a high-tech entrepreneurship company is the people that are the identified core when it first starts is ranging from one to four or five, but it also could be little bit bigger, but it usually has a small range of people. Um, the independents, they're not a subsidiary of a larger firm. It's something new. It's something that they came up with themselves. And innovation, being able to technically innovate a new idea, bringing something new to the table that hasn't been done before. The high tech started up were a real high peak in the dot-com era, which was in about the 1990s. And over the last couple of decades, it has became more risky because a lot of people are doing it, and a lot of people are doing it very well, competing with all the Googles out there, and it just becomes very risky. Even though they have a high rate of failing, these companies still bring so many new jobs, and it outweighs the loss according to the entrepreneur. And it's very interesting. It's high risk, and I mean, it's a very big risk, but it pays out in the end if you can get it going, and it's very interesting to look at it. The report also states that the slowdown we find for the high-tech sector might be a large source of concern that all the overall economy, since young high-tech firms may be more important for innovation and new job creations than the other non-high-tech counterparts. I thought that was interesting because it does make a community, and globally it just grows because all the innovation with the new technology just makes everything grow. Um, Keys to being successful. I came up with four keys to being successful. I mean, there's a lot more to being successful, and I'm not a high tech entrepreneur myself, but companies that build strong network relationships, that's a very large key to being successful. Having having the chance to bring new cultures and bring different people into your company and take from what they know and take from what you know and combine it on creating your own environment, a new environment. And with the way that the world is being globalized now, it brings something new to your company, and it makes a big difference. Customer validation is very crucial. And that's understanding your target market, not only for high tech entrepreneurs, but also for just being an entrepreneur in general. Knowing what your customer wants and knowing that your company is getting there, that's very important. Um, don't take things personal. And I read this and I was like, okay, keep your work life separate from your business life. That's very hard, and a lot of people can't do it. But if you can do that, it, it'll bring a lot of less stress, and you'll be able to part with your company if you want to sell it to make that profit and go on to something different. I'm not necessarily saying you have to sell, but hey, making money is always good. Surrounding yourself with the right people is very important. Being just a young entrepreneur in general, and I thought Brian Goffsar said it perfectly. A supportive economic system is extremely important. People are consistent, raising their eyebrows and doubting your dreams, or are they encouraging you by offering critical advice? Just surrounding yourself with people that can help you grow and give you good ideas. Not going to be lazy, give you that 100% that you need. Makes your company so much more successful, not just being a high tech entrepreneur, but being an entrepreneur in general. And then I did some research about high tech entrepreneurships in Europe, and it says I found out that over one-third of new startups in Europe are high tech startups. And in order to ensure that Europe is getting these high tech entrepreneurship benefits, which meaning having that growth in the community as well as globally, making that network grow, that the U.S. has got from all these startups. The key factor is trying to keep the startups in Europe as well, starting up in Europe. But it comes difficult with barriers as well as just the lack of venture capital that they talk about that I read. With these new startups, the entrepreneurships in Europe is growing and it's making a more global network, but it is going pretty slow sometimes, as they could say. But high tech entrepreneur, high tech entrepreneurs rely highly on the existing technology that's in front of them, as well as like cloud performance and developing to develop their new products and new services. They have to use stuff that's already there or make it themselves. The web is their main development tool. I mean, it not only acts as their physical location per se, but it's a way to find and serve their clients. Their website, the way it works, the way it looks is very important. Having it work and having people want to go back to it and recommend it will make your company grow and make everything work out better. Having a low startup and the entry barriers being really low makes the high tech entrepreneur very attractive, although it comes with that high risk I was talking about. Um, there's a lot of failure on the global and local level, and this industry grows so fast, but it also can fail at a very fast rate. If you're not up to date with your technology, someone's going to pass you. Um, these high tech entrepreneurships sometimes are taking a reshape of an existing company, such as like say a shoe store that isn't online, but someone makes the online page for them and they're selling their products. That's becoming that high tech entrepreneur for a smaller shoe business. Um, the barriers in Europe, they face a lot more than the United States because there's an unbalance in distribution of facilities and resources for the high tech entrepreneur, creating a huge disadvantage. And that's why a lot of entrepreneurs in Europe leave for the US just because we have all those resources. Um, the limited access to venture capital is a huge thing too. The main point of action is venture capital is the main point of action to take to raise awareness among venture capital investors about the web business opportunities and help them understand a specific characteristic of high-tech entrepreneurship, including sharing successful stories and networking activities. One of the most promising solutions. Oh, sorry. That's what venture capital is, and it's very hard for them to find capital in Europe because obtaining the funding and the way Europe's financials work, it becomes more difficult than the U.S. just because of how their market is. And one of the ways that Europeans come over this, and actually it's used a lot in the United States too, but is crowdfunding. And it's defined as an effort of individuals who network or pool their resources together. Crowdfunding supports effort in it. Crowdfunding supports the aspiring entrepreneur. People invested in people, and I think that's very interesting. And then from one of the articles I read, an example they use is Zappos, and I thought it was very interesting. Zappos was formed in 1999 by this man named Nick. I have problems pronouncing his last name, but he was just walking around in San Francisco looking for a pair of shoes. And as all we know, whenever you're looking for a pair of shoes, we always have that trouble sometimes. They have the right style, but they don't have the right size for me. If you have a specific size of shoe that you wear, like the width. So it's hard to find some shoes. And in 1999, he had that problem. So he went home to look online and he was unsuccessful again. There was just a lot of mom and pops stores, not major retailer stores, in 1999. So Nick decided to quit his day job and start an online retailer store himself, and that was Zappos. The original design for Zappos was to create the absolute best selection in shoes, and that was being the brands, styles, color, and the width of the shoe. And over the last couple years, it's evolved to so much. It's kept its same things, but its same values, but it's evolved as well. Um, for them to their customer service, they want to provide the best service possible because they see a world where everybody's going to be buying shoes online someday. That's what they want to aspire to, and they want to be able to work on delivering as quick as possible, and giving that great experience. Their new vision I thought was very interesting. It's one day 30% of all retail transactions in the U.S. will be online. People will buy from the company with the best service and the best selection. Zappos company will be that online store. I think that's a perfect vision statement, and it says everything what they're about. And I thought that Zappos was very interesting, and I think that it gives inspiration to any high tech entrepreneur because it could just be from shoes. You could just start something from shoes. It's just an idea. Um, and here's my references. Thank you. That's all.